So, honorable members, let's remain standing for silent prayer and meditation. Thank you very much. Let's be seated. Okay. Good morning, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, the Chief Whip, leaders of political parties, the Integrity Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, baagi ba Gauteng le baeng ba rona dumelang le amogetse. Under announcement by the presiding officers, honorable members, in accordance with Part 4 of the Conflict of Interest Code and Disclosure Framework for members of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, you are all required to disclose particulars of all your registrable interests within 30 days after opening of the legislature or appointment of a member. So noting the above, all members are required to complete and submit the declaration of interest to the Office of the Integrity Commissioner at the earliest convenience and not later than the 13th of March 2026. And this system will remain open up until the 30th of March. We have an announcement by Member J. Moodley of Action SA. Moody, rather, sorry. Member Moody, is he online?
I'm online, thank you, Madam Speaker. I am online. Can you hear me, member?
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to announce a significant legal victory on the 19th of March 2026 for the city of Tshwane in its ongoing battle against urban decay and its unwavering commitment to the safety of all residents. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has officially dismissed an urgent interdict application brought by AfriForum. This application sought to prevent the relocation of unlawful occupants from the notorious Melchizedek building in Riviera. This ruling upholds the eviction order previously granted by the Pretoria High Court, removing the final legal barrier to implementing the city's humane and responsible plan. With thorough preparation completed, all identified occupants will now be relocated without delay to temporary serviced accommodation on city-owned land in Gasena. The city is proceeding with both resolve and compassion to ensure that no one is left without shelter during this transition. Honourable Speaker, this judgment sends a clear and definitive message.
Are you done, Honorable Moodley? Honorable Moody?
Madam Chair, sorry. Yeah, I'm not done. The City of Tshwane is steadfast in its commitment to dismantling bad buildings and the network that sustains them, ensuring no corner of the city is left to decay while others thrive, applying the same standards of safety, accountability and renewal across every suburb without fear or favour. We as Action SA extend our gratitude to the judiciary for its swift and principled decision. We also thank the Bad Buildings Mayoral Subcommittee for remaining entirely focused on delivering tangible change and building a cleaner, safer and more inclusive capital for every resident. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Moody. MEC statements in terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, there's none. Member statements, we have none, and then we're going to allow all of them. Yes, Honorable Diakhar.
Sorry, Madam Speaker. 2 member statements were submitted yesterday afternoon. One from Member Shabalala and one from Member Fuchs.
Chabalala and Fuchs.
Fuchs.
Yeah, but we are not at member statements yet. I was still making an announcement regarding that. Okay. Okay. So, honorable members, there are member statements 9, and we're allowing all of them. I just want to explain something to yourselves. Today's program has been compressed, so some of the reports are not going to be considered because of prior arrangements that, or rather prior agreements to the programming, the program that we have that was adopted by the programming committee. So all of those reports that are not going to be considered today will be deferred to the next sitting. If you look into the agenda that you have in front of you, you will then understand which ones. Member statements in terms of Rule 81, subsection 1. Honorable Muketi, please remember, honorable members, you have only 2 minutes. Honorable Muketi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good morning to all the honorable members. Member Meso will do the member statement on my behalf. Thank you.
Is Honorable Muketi, who's supposed to read your member statement?
Honorable Speaker is Member Mekwe. Member Miso, I'm sorry. As the Deputy Chairperson of the Multi-Party Women Caucus, she will do it on my behalf. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm a Deputy Chairperson of Women Multi-Party Caucus, and I will read the member statement on behalf of Honorable, the Chairperson of Multi-Party Women Caucus. I participated in the Gender Responsive Budget Program presented by the ITC ILO. The program supports effort to strengthen the legislature technical capacity in the scrutiny of public finances and to improve the quality of oversight exercised by this House. Resolution number 1, strengthening oversight. The first resolution adopted emphasizes the need to incorporate a gender-responsive budget lens in all research and committee reporting undertaken through the budget cycles. Number 2, this will assist the House, its committees and members to assess budget votes through a fairness and inclusion framework. Systematic use of existing oversight instrument, question motions, resolution and fiscal scrutiny mechanism. Resolution number 2, capacity building. The second resolution records the need of all members supported by officials to receive GRP capacity building during the term. This will strengthen and share GPL understanding of gender-responsive public finances to strengthen the analytical depth of committee oversight. Resolution number 3, budget office capacity. The third resolution reaffirms the importance of the full implementation of Gauteng Provincial Legislature Money Bill Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act 5 of 2019, the implementation of which was previously placed in abeyance. The Act's full implementation will facilitate the establishment of a budget committee supported by the expert staff of provide independent financial analysis and enhance the integration of GRP principles across the legislature process. In closing, the resolution reflects a commitment of strengthening the legislature capacity, examine budgets with rigor, and to exercise its oversight responsibilities with improved precision, ultimately improving the lives of people of Gauteng. I table the statement for the information of the House. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Miso. Honorable Fuchs.
Speaker, am I audible?
did he say?
So thank you. On the basis of a presentation by the Public Service Commission to SCOPA, I wish to place on record my serious concern as regards the findings related to leave management in Gauteng, where weak oversight is creating both financial pressure and service delivery risk. One of the clearest red flags is capped leave. Capped leave is leave that employees did not take, which has built up over time to the maximum allowed and now sits on the state's books as a future payout liability. In Gauteng, that liability stood at more than 1.3 billion rand by December 2023. The PSC warns that this cost keeps rising as salaries increase and employees move up the ranks. In other words, the problem does not stay where it is, it gets worse when government fails to act. The sick leave figures are just as troubling. In 2023 alone, sick leave in Gauteng cost almost 1.5 billion. The PSC also recommends annual audits of sick leave records and stricter checks on medical certificates to detect excessive use and possible misuse. The PSC further warns that long periods of absence place strain on other staff and undermine business continuity. The public therefore pays twice, first through the financial cost and then through weaker service delivery in departments that are already under pressure. This is what poor administration looks like: rising liabilities, stretched departments, and residents paying the price. Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Fuchs. Honourable Chabalala.
Madam Speaker, for 6 weeks, the people of CW areas in Vanabale Park and Bupilong have been forced to live in darkness. This ongoing electricity crisis demands an urgent attention from the Premier Panyaza Lesufi and MEC Mamabulo and MEC Jacob Mamabulo. This is not merely a power outage, it's a complete collapse of leadership. Children are being forced to write exam by candlelight, their futures quite literally dimmed by a government that cannot deliver the most basic services. How do we tell a child that their dreams matter when those in power cannot even keep the lights on? Families are watching the food that they worked so hard for, rot away. Refrigerators stand useless, meals are skipped, parents are pushed beyond their limits, trying to hold their households together while the municipality fails them day after day. Local butcheries and small businesses are bleeding. The meat is spoiling, income is disappearing, jobs are hanging by a thread. The ANC-run Mfuleni municipality is not failing. It's actively contributing to the economic destruction of our communities already struggling to survive. And still, there is silence, no agency, no accountability. Only empty promises from an administration that has turned its back on the people it's meant to serve. Access to electricity is a basic right, not a privilege. A prolonged lack of access violates Section 10 of the Bill of Rights, as the absence of basic services undermines human dignity. Madam Speaker, nako ifitlile ya hore Mfuleni e thole boetapele bo botjha ba DA. Ke a leboha.
Thank you. Honourable Qoba.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise today to address a critical weakness in our fiscal framework, namely the persistent gaps in gender-responsive budgeting within the Gauteng provincial government. While we repeatedly hear of affirmed commitments to equality, there is an indirect ideological resistance. Gender-responsive budgeting is not a symbolic compliance, it is a constitutional imperative tied to equity, dignity, and inclusive development. Yet, across departments, we still see a bureaucratic resistance where gender priorities are either underfunded, inconsistently tracked, or superficially integrated without clear outcomes. This results in policies that speak the language of transformation but lack the financial backbone to deliver it. The insufficient disaggregated data guiding all our allocations, weak alignment between policy commitments and funding, and limited transparency in how funds benefit women, youth, and vulnerable groups undermines the very purpose of GRP. We must reject the illusion that incremental adjustment will suffice. What is required is a decisive shift in how we conceive, design, and enforce our budget. Gender-responsive planning requires expertise, data systems, and political will. Without these, GRP will remain a box-ticking exercise rather than a transformative tool. Every budget that ignores gender entrenches poverty, limits growth, and undermines social cohesion. If we fail to act decisively, we are complicit in perpetuating inequality. Let us ensure that every rand we allocate moves us closer to a truly inclusive and equitable society. The women of Gauteng cannot wait. They require a budget that sees them, responds to them, and invests in their potential. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kwaba. Honorable Mikwe.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. I stand on the observed protocol. In accordance with Rule 81, Sub 1, Honourable Linting Mikwe of the ANC table the following member statement on the Gauteng NPO funding rollout to advance social development and community partnership. The African National Congress rises to congratulate the many non-profit organizations across Gauteng who have successfully received funding allocations from the Gauteng Department of Social Development for the 26-27 financial year. Under the leadership of MEC Faith Mazibuko as well as Premier Panyaza Lesufi, this rollout affirms the critical role played by NPOs in advancing social justice and restoring dignity to our people. These organizations working in areas such as victim empowerment, disability support, homelessness interventions, and HIV and AIDS programs are the backbone of community-based care. Their resilience and commitment embody the spirit of solidarity that defines the ANC. This milestone is not accidental. It is a direct realization of the commitments made by the African National Congress in its election manifesto, which prioritizes the strengthening of social protection systems, the deepening of partnership with civil society to reach the most vulnerable. It also gives practical expression to ANC conference resolutions that call for a capable developmental state working in concert with community structures to drive inclusive development. Honourable members, this funding process demonstrates that sustainable social development is achieved through collaboration, accountability, and shared responsibility. As service-level agreements are concluded, we urge all beneficiaries to uphold the highest standards of governance and transparency. Together, we are building a caring society that leaves no one behind and advances the historic mission of the ANC. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mikwe. Honourable Kunene.
Madam Speaker, I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to commend the Department of Economic Development for the blueprint launch of the Gauteng City Region Economic Growth and Development Plan 2030. On the 19th of March 2026, the Gauteng Premier and MEC for Finance and Economic Development unveiled an economic vision for a better Gauteng. Speaker, this bold plan sets the course for acceleration of economic growth, strengthening key industries and creation of sustainable jobs across Gauteng Province. As Gauteng Province continues to grow in terms of hundreds of thousands of people each year, the pressure on jobs, infrastructure, and opportunities becomes a struggle. The launch of this game-changer project is a direct response and commitment by the ANC-led GPU to do things differently, to move from plans to action, from growth to inclusion, and most importantly, from potential to real impact in the lives of Gauteng citizens. Gauteng, guided by the ANC manifesto, the plan advances priorities for inclusive economic growth, job creation, industrial development, and building a capable developmental state that drives sustainable economic transformation in Gauteng. I thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honourable Kunene. Honourable Mfikwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. standing as well on the protocols that have been mentioned. History was made in the heart of our province when Steyn City hosted the first Leaf Golf tournament on the African continent. This was far more than a sporting event. It was a bold declaration that Gauteng is open for business and ready to welcome the world, and capable of delivering excellence with unparalleled flair. The event, Madam Speaker, became a masterclass in the new tourism economy. The success of Leaf Golf is a clear example of our strategy in action, that Gauteng Tourism Authority co-creation model, bringing together government, the private sector, event owners and creators, turned a single sporting event into a global moment. There were thousands of digital stories, instantly exporting our identity to the world and positioning Gauteng as a premier destination for sports tourism. SMMEs that provided services, township entrepreneurs, local artists and creators were all elevated to the center of the narrative, and all felt the impact. This is what we mean by mainstreaming economic opportunity. When the world comes to Gauteng for an international event, catering, security, logistics, and the creative industry across all our 5 corridors must take a stake in the success. The seamless execution of Leaf Golf proved that our strategy works, and it revealed the vast possibilities that lie ahead when we unite behind a shared narrative. Madam Speaker, to continue this momentum and leverage of the success of such events as Leaf Golf, we must address the funding and resourcing of the Gauteng Tourism Authority, the foundation upon which the GGT 2030 strategy and the Gauteng Economic Growth Plan are built. The formula is clear: sports, culture plus content equals to the new tourism economy. To our investors, the message is simple: Gauteng is the place to be, because entertainment, sports and the creative sector are not just growing, they are exploding. To align with Gauteng is to align with impact, relevance and growth. To our people in Gauteng, let the spirit of Ubuntu that welcomes the world to Steyn City continue to shine brightly in our hearts. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mfikwe. Honorable Chokwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In accordance with Rule 81, subsection 1I, Honorable Tlo Chokwe of the African National Congress tabled the following member statement on the recent People's March in defense of our national sovereignty and democratic gain. Honorable Speaker, in a powerful demonstration of unity, thousands of South Africans marched on the 21 March 2026 in what we call the People's March in defense of our sovereignty and democratic gains, organized by the ANC and its tripartite alliance partners, held on a Human Rights Day. The march marked a defining moment in more than 3 decades of South Africa's constitutional democracy. The ANC extends sincere appreciation to all peace-loving South Africans who participated in that march. The march elevated the strength of collective actions and honored the legacy of those who sacrificed their lives in Sharpeville. It also took place amid growing threats to South African sovereignty, particularly through the spread of misinformation. Honorable Speaker, sorry, these calls are disturbing. False claims, especially from the United States, alleged a so-called white genocide in South Africa have been widely discredited. Claims often linked to struggle songs, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, which originates from the apartheid era and symbolizes resistance against oppression, not racial violence. South Africa's courts have ruled that in its historic context, the song does not constitute hate speech, although public around the song debate still continue. Unlike the unsubstantiated claim, South Africa has formally approached the International Court of Justice regarding the allegation of genocide in Palestine. In contrast, claimed by Donald Trump rely on limited and unconvincing evidence from a video of people wearing red berets and overalls. Assertions that white South African farmers face systematic persecution are not supported by reality. Many white people continue to live and work successfully
Chokwe,
in the
2
country,
minutes.
and offers of relocation have been rejected by them. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chokwe. Honourable Makwala.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We stand before this House today to proudly and unashamedly represent the over 1,000 interns who were on the 6th of April in 2024 in Katlehoni, given a promise of sustainable jobs because of convenient politics by Premier Andrek Lusufi. A promise that today stands broken, with families shattered and livelihoods disrupted. We stand here today, Madam Speaker, to say these are not mere voting kettles. These are people, young and old, who stood to task and say when their government called. These are the people who said Isfuna Ispani when they were asked by Premier Andrekori, see Pispani, and were ready to work, ready to volunteer, and ready to serve as Green Angels emergency workers. Today, despite the ill treatment from superiors, despite working in the rain without rain jackets, without night chief and danger allowance, with no proper uniform, no PPEs, without being able to submit sick notes and doctor's notes, they still stand to say they are ready, willing, and prepared to serve the people of Gauteng. For how long must those who have been promised, even those who have shown complete willingness, be sidelined on the story of lack of budget? When big corporations operate as they wish, when special economic zones flourish in front of their eyes, when contracts are cut short willy-nilly, how long must the deserving masses of this province be subjected to the lies of the Premier? It is not us, Premier Lusufi, who is saying you are lying. It is the thousands of the Green Armies battalions, of the Green Angels battalions, who says this to us, that the Premier has lied. He promised jobs in 2024. Today we sit at home with no contracts. It is not us as the EFF who are saying the Premier is misleading the people and the House. It is the Green Angels who say, why are our contracts ending now? That the elections are over. They ask us, Madam Speaker, they ask the EFF, can you please speak with Premier Andrek? Can we not be made scapegoats? Can we be allowed to sign permanent contracts? Can we be made to be real workers in this province of Gauteng and our rights as promised by this provincial government? It is not us as the EFF who saying the Premier is lying. It is this promise of our people in Green Angels who have been robbed, who have been exploited, who have been corrupted and lied to and misled by the Premier. Our plea as the EFF...
Your time is up, Honourable Makwala. Thank you. Okay. Honourable members, we now move to motion without notice in terms of Rule 120. Honourable Makubela.
No, thank you very much, Madam Speaker, presiding officers, the Honourable Premier, members of the Executive, and our Integrity Commissioner, Me Mashikhu. And as well as our invited guests in the gallery and members of the media, all party leaders. I, Member El Makubela of the ANC Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rule 121 and Rule 122 as follows. Noting that the following orders were not programmed for today's House sitting of Thursday, the 26th March 2026, that 1, we consider the final voting mandate of the Public Service Commission Bill, B30B of 2023, Section 7, on today's House sitting for Tuesday, 24 March 2026. 2, the EARD FIS on the status of the Tshwane Innovation Hub, the commercialization of the Silver Tree Cannabis Project, and the status of the sunflower crushing plant. 3, the Economic Development Focused Intervention Study Report on examining the challenges hindering progress in construction of Constitutional Hill Vista Center and undermining the precinct's potential as a tourism attraction. 4, the Infrastructure Development and Property Management Focused Intervention Study on reviewing infrastructure projects of the current administration in Gauteng, a case study of STATS facilities. 5, The Finance Committee code a root cause analysis of accruals and the impact thereof on service delivery, a critical analysis of accruals emanating from medico-legal claims. 6, the Transport and Logistics Committee focused intervention study report on the proposed Gauteng and Limpopo high-speed train. 6, the focused intervention study or FIS on the assessment of the impact of the club development program on the sustainability of the clubs. 7, the focused intervention study on support provided to public special school education in Gauteng province by the Gauteng Department of Education. Madam Speaker, I therefore request that the House resolves to include all the above mentioned orders to the orders of today's House sitting, and I so move. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Makubela. Is there a seconder? Honorable Adams?
I'll rise to second, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I now put a question. Those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those not in favor say no. Okay, thank you. The motion is carried then. Honorable members, we have in our midst.
Madam Speaker, there's a second motion.
Oh, there's a second motion. Okay.
For
Please
the
proceed.
record, I did not want to read all of them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and all protocol observed. Apologies for that. I did not want to confuse the transcript. I, Member Elma Kubela of the ANC Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rule 121 and Rule 122 as follows. Noting that the following orders were programmed for today's House sitting of Thursday, the 26th March 2026, that 1, the consideration of the Gauteng Provincial Adjustment Appropriation Bill G005/2025 for the 2025/2026 financial year. 2, the consideration of the Finance Committee report on the principle of the Gauteng Provincial Appropriation Bill G002/2026 for the 2026/2027 financial year. Therefore, request that the House resolves to remove and defer the above mentioned orders from today's House sitting to the next House sitting, and I so move, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Makubela. A seconder, please. Honorable Diaker.
I move to second, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So that motion is also carried. Thank you very much. Honorable members, we have in our midst...
Speaker.
Kimangu.
I've been raising my hand, Speaker. We have a motion without notice that was submitted, so I wanted to check if you would allow me.
Who is speaking?
Emma More.
Just hold on, Honorable More. Yeah, just hold on. Honorable members, I'm just consulting. Just give me a few minutes.
Noted, Speaker.
Okay, Honorable More. Honorable
Yes,
Mire,
ma'am.
we're going to make reference to.
Yes, Speaker.
Yeah, just hold on. I want to put these things on so I can hear you. Okay. I'm going to refer to Rule 118 read with Rule 120 in terms of motions. Yes, a motion must be in writing and all of that, languages, legislature. A motion must be seconded by another member. That is when we come to an end. When you write it, it must be seconded. So 120 says motion without notice. Every motion requires notice except a motion proposing an amendment to a motion under Rule 123, raising a point of order on a matter of privilege, postponing, discharging, or giving precedence to any item on the order paper and by a member in charge, proposing a resolution on the report of a committee immediately after the conclusion of the debate on the report, appointing special delegates, okay, that's not relevant, for which another rule states that notice is not required and accepted unanimously by all members. That would be at the end. So I'm going to listen to a motion, what it entails, and if it does not meet the requirements in 118 and 120, it's not going to be allowed. So what is the motion about?
Okay, Speaker, the motion is about the recommendations that were made by the Health Wombat in terms of Dr. George Mokari, the incident of the mental patient that passed on. So basically, we would like to resolve that the recommendations that are currently done by the Wombat, the MEC, our MEC, Nomantu Komorale Hoko, to actually come up with a format, to table
Honorable
a format
More.
plan.
Honorable
Can you
More.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, but your motion is not urgent.
You want me to go through it?
No, I was. Just hold on, please. Honorable More, after I read, I don't know if you have the rules book in front of you, but that's why I took the trouble of reading it to you. So your motion is not urgent, and it can be submitted later on in another form. I'm not going to allow it. So I'm going to ask you to please read chapter 8. It speaks to all motions and urgent debates, and refer you to section 118, but in particular section 120, so that you understand clearly how a motion without notice will be allowed in the House. Thank you very much.
Can I rise on 118, Madam Speaker?
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable More. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much. Member More, where you may be, we're taking the liberty on the behalf of the membership of the committee to write to the Health Ombudsman, and we've invited them. They will be presenting themselves before the committee on the 31st of March.
Just hold on, Honorable.
So that we clarify.
Honorable Advocate, no. I did not allow the motion, so we can't have discussions on it. Honorable Makwala?
No, I was saying you've ruled on that matter. Honorable Letswalo has no powers to can speak.
So you're agreeing with me?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. No, the motion is disallowed, so there's no discussions on it. Okay, honorable members.
Wait for your time. You're not the speaker now. Wait for your time.
Renali baeng mo lapeng. Baeng be ba rona ba tlile go utlwella tsamaiso ya rona mo ntlong ya legislature ya Gauteng. Bagolo ba me le amogetse mme fela ga la letlellwa ke molao gore le tse karolo mo se se iragalang mo tlong. Ke bone ntse le tshega le smile seo se dumeletswe ke sona fela. Ala dumella gape le go tsaya dinepe tsa batho ba khuduthwamaga ba ba dutseng ka ra la amogela bagolo. Honorable members, I have not received any apologies, so I assume everybody who's not physically in the House is online. Secretary, can you read the first motion, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The First Order Oversight Committee on the Office of the Premier and the Legislature Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mikwe?
Thank you so much. As the chairperson of the OCPOL committee, I wish to also declare that 2 minutes, Madam Speaker, will not be enough to present this report. I think as oversight committees we are being robbed in terms of that, but nonetheless, because that is, in fact, we're supposed to be informed before we come into the House so that we're able to present our report properly. But I will request that all the areas that have not been read should be considered as read. I will only go to concerns, findings and recommendations. The committee concerns on the space optimization project, the main building renovations, vacancy-related underspending, tender irregularities and the security contract were fully addressed during the consideration of the GPL's third quarter performance for the 25-26 financial year. All those that are mentioned there in terms of acknowledgement are acknowledged. I'm not going to read them because of the time constraints. After due consideration, the committee unanimously adopted its report on the GPL's third quarter performance for the 25-26 financial year. In accordance with Rule 164, the committee hereby submits this report to the House for adoption. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Mikwe. Is there a seconder? Honorable members, is there a seconder?
Yes, I rise to second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Chokwe. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those not in favor say no. Okay, so the yeses have it and the report is adopted. Secretary, second order, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Oversight Committee on the Office of the Premier and Legislature Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Office of the Premier for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Mikwe.
Thank you again. I think in terms of my comments, they're still applicable for this particular report. I will only go to the findings, recommendations and implications on lawmaking. Madam Speaker, let me present that all the areas that have not been read in the House should be considered as read. Committee findings and concerns. The committee notes that with concern the underachievement of the GPG-wide HDI's preferential procurement spending in the quarter under review, with black people at 60.6% against a target of 80%, women at 29.7% and target of 40%, youth at 12.3% against the target of 30%, persons with disabilities at 0.4% against the target of 7%, and township-based enterprises at 36.95% against the targeted 40%, notwithstanding the identified mechanisms to improve preferential procurement spending on HDIs at the beginning of the 7th administration. Performance on some of the targets is not stable, while others consistently record underachievement. How is the Office of the Premier providing support to the GPG departments in addressing these underachievements? What has been done in exploring other mechanisms to improve and sustain performance of these targets going forward? The committee is also concerned about the inefficiencies of the GPG departments, including staff establishment of 206,334 and a high vacancy rate at 11%, additional appointments beyond staff establishment and misaligned placements based on the Office of the Premier's recommended interventions to focus on structural alignment, abolishing underfunded vacancies, reducing excess employment, and correcting post-adjustment to strengthen organizational and financial integrity. What are the plans in place for incumbents holding unfunded vacancies and those in positions identified as excess employment, given the high unemployment rate in Gauteng? In terms of the recommendations, I think they are recorded in that particular paragraph, but we want the Office of the Premier to respond by the 30th of April 2026 on both recommendations that we are making as presented in that particular paragraph. I'm not going to do any acknowledgement, as I alluded to in the first report. In accordance with Rule 164 of the Standing Rules of the GPL, the committee hereby presents the report to the House for adoption. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mikwe. Is there a seconder?
I rise to second.
Thank you very much, Honourable Dr. Chokwe. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Secretary, can we get the third order, please?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Mulder.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I, Jacob Mulder, Chairperson of the Environment, Agriculture, Rural Development Portfolio Committee, hereby tables the committee's oversight report on the third quarterly performance report of the Department of are we on agriculture at the moment? Yes. And I'm only going to do the shorter version of this to be able to be completing it in the 2 minutes. The department reported that they planned for a total of 50 indicators at the end of quarter 3. Overall, the department achieved 78% of its third quarter targets. 22% of the targets were not achieved for this third quarter. This can be attributed to non-achievement of Program 1 and Program 2. The committee noted that the department's performance in the previous financial year was hampered by various challenges that impacted on the service delivery mandate, and it is important to ensure that these are given the necessary attention so that the delivery of services is enhanced. These include the infrastructure delivery management system related challenges that impacted on procurement and tender processes. Responses to resolutions for the second quarter report 2024-25 financial year budget report for 25-26 were submitted and analysed. All resolutions were open, and the committee will monitor these quarterly and engage with GDOT further to get progress reports on implementation and the status of these. The committee further noted that during the reporting period under review, that the department actively participated in several public engagements, meaningfully involved public stakeholders through stakeholder events. The committee recommends that the department provide quarterly update on how all underachieved targets under the agriculture sector will be achieved. Honourable Speaker, the veterinary services are assigned with the responsibility of reducing levels of animal disease, occurrence and negligible occurrence of zoonotic diseases in the province. The objective is to ensure healthy animals and safe animals products which contribute to the welfare of the people of Gauteng through the provision of required services.
So as you conclude, Honourable Mulder.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Portfolio Committee wish to thank the Honourable MEC, honourable members and their support staff, and therefore, in terms of Rule 117.26c, I put this report to the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there a second, honourable members? Honourable Diagar.
Thank you, Speaker. I'll second.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those not in favour say no. Okay. The report is adopted. Secretary, can you please can you read the next order, please?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Environment for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Mulder, try to focus on the area of adoption.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I, Jacob Mulder, Chairperson of the Environment, Agriculture, Rural Development Portfolio Committee, present the compressed committee oversight report on the Provincial Adjustment Appropriation Bill for the Gauteng Department of Environment, which was already distributed to the House. The committee noted that the adjustments were made to the department's budget are mainly to give effect to changes in the equitable share allocation and conditional grants, amongst others. The department reported that the total share of the budget reduced from 679 million to 672 million, donating a decrease of 7.3 million rand. The adjusted budget was effected to respond to the fiscal risks facing the province as a result of the impeded economic growth. The department, though, has only recently been separated from the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and is still finding its feet operating as a standalone department. The committee will have to ensure that it guides the department as it makes its first step as a standalone department. In its presentation to the Portfolio Committee, the department highlighted the changes to its allocations, and the adjusted budget was effected to respond to the fiscal risks. The Portfolio Committee recommends the following: that the department should provide a report that clarifies the effect of the adjustment, and the Portfolio Committee of Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development wishes to thank the Honourable MEC, the Gauteng Department, the Honourable Members and the valued support staff for their hard work and dedication in compiling this report. And with that being said, Honourable Speaker, I hereby put the report to the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mulder. Is there a second, Honourable Members? Honourable Diagar.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the report.
Thank you very much. I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favour say no. No. So the report is carried. The yeses have it. Secretary, can you please read the fourth order?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Economic Development Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Economic Development, including its entities, for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thanks. Honourable Alberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The parts of the report not read is deemed to have been read. I'm just presenting the findings, concerns and recommendations. First, the committee is concerned about the departmental and entity targets that are not planned for in some quarters of the financial year. The committee recommends that from the 2026-27 financial year, the department should engage the committee in its planning and development of the annual performance plan in preparation for the 27-28 financial year, therefore enabling the committee to contract with the department and lock annual APPs of the department and entities. And that should be done by the 4th of May 2026. Secondly, the committee is concerned about the findings and/or outcomes of the Committee of Inquiry on the Gauteng Liquor Board, which was scheduled to be finalised by the 30th September 2025. This is albeit the fact that the report is currently presented to the MEC as indicated by the department. The committee recommends that the GLB should submit the findings of the Committee of Inquiry on the Gauteng Liquor Board. Therefore, the report on the recommendations, including the actions to be undertaken by the Executive Authority on the outcomes of the inquiry, should be submitted to the committee by the 4th of 26. Third, the committee is concerned about the inability or late submission of the report into the forensic investigation into the depletion of professional fees allocated to the Professional Resource Team for Biopark Phase 3. The committee recommends that the report on the forensic investigation into the depletion is submitted to the committee by the 4th of May 2026. And the committee is concerned about the loan book of the GEP and an inability by the entity to recoup money loaned to businesses, and the criteria adopted in the disbursements of loans. The committee recommends that the stricter and tighter lending measures should be employed, and the report on this should be submitted by the 4th of May 2026. The committee is also concerned about a delay in submission by the department into the investigation report into the family tree holdings, which has been finalised. Considering the department to the Executive Authority should submit a report on the outcomes and recommendations of the final report on the investigation into family tree holdings by the 4th of May 2026. And lastly, the committee is concerned about the inability of the department to conclude the formal inquiry on the distribution centre project by the end of November 2025, and a report on a formal inquiry into this distribution centre project must be submitted to the committee by the 4th of May 2026. And as Chairperson, I wish to thank all the members who have assisted in compiling this report, as well as the staff of the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Alberts. Honourable Members, is there a seconder?
I rise to second, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Figwe. I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those not in favour say no. Okay, so the report is then adopted. Secretary, can you please read the next order, order number 6?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Finance Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of Gauteng Provincial Treasury for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Musai.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I take that the report has been read because it was circulated to the House.
I, Honorable Andisa Musai, hereby table the Finance Portfolio Committee's Oversight Report on the third quarter performance of the Gauteng Provincial Treasury for the 2025-26 financial year. In terms of Rule 117, subsection 2C, read together with Rule 164. The committee accordingly recommends that the House adopts the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Musai. Is there a seconder?
Yes, Speaker, I second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. Okay, the report is adopted. Secretary, can we move to the next order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Finance Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of Gauteng Provincial Government, GPG-wide, for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Musai.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I take that the report was circulated to the House and it has therefore been read. I, Honorable Andisa Musai, hereby table the committee's oversight report on the third quarter GPG-wide state of finances for the 2025-26 financial year in terms of Rule 117, subsection 2C, read with Rule 164. The committee accordingly recommends that the House adopts the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Musai. Is there a seconder, honorable members? Honorable Sisedi-Nyane.
I rise to second, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sisedi-Nyane. Members, I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Secretary, can you please read order number 8?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Transport and Logistic Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Roads and Transport, including Gauteng Management Agency and G-Fleet Management Agency and other entities for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Schneemann.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of Honorable Schneemann, I table the report for the Transport Committee. In terms of our committee's recommendations, we recommend that the department should provide the committee with a detailed report on the extension time for P122 and from P36, Solomon Mahlangu Drive, Olifantsfontein, the employment of EPWP opportunities and the progress on completion of the project, that the department should provide the committee with a detailed report on the intervention measures in place on the surrender of revenue by municipalities, as well as the progress on engagements with SALGA, that the department should provide the committee with a detailed report on the payment arrangement put in place with GDOH, as well as the progress made. Honorable Speaker, after due consideration, and we request that parts of the report be considered as read, the Roads and Transport Portfolio Committee unanimously adopted the Gauteng Department of Transport and Logistics Gautrain Management Agency and G-Fleet third quarterly performance for 25-26 financial year. In terms of Rule 117 2C, read together with Rule 164, the committee presents to this House and recommends the adoption of the committee's oversight report of the Gauteng Department of Transport and Logistics Gautrain Management Agency and G-Fleet Management third quarterly performance report for the 25-26 financial year. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Mhlongo. I now put a question. Oh, no. Is there a seconder first? Honorable Sisedi-Nyane.
I rise to second. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sisedi-Nyane. Honorable members, I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. Okay, so the report is adopted. Secretary, can you please read the 9th order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. E-Government and Research Development Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of E-Government for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In line with previous speakers, because the documents have been submitted, I, Member Mbaili Hlophe, hereby table the oversight report for the third quarter of the Department of E-Development and Research In line with the documentation as submitted, we hereby recommend for its adoption. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Hlophe. Is there a seconder? Honorable Kumalo.
I rise to second, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Turn your name around, please. Yes. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now put a question. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. Okay, the report is then carried. Secretary, the next report, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Social Development Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Social Development for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Choko.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I hereby request that the House should take other parts of the report as read. Honourable Speaker, the Portfolio Committee have set and made the following recommendation: that they request the department to look at, that the department should provide the committee with the contingency plans that exist within the department in an event that the partners like the NPO are suspended and are unable to provide the services. We will be happy if the department can bring the response by 30 April 2026, that the department should provide the committee with the written responses, vacancy filling plans outlining all the vacant positions and time frame for filling those positions, also by the 30th April, that the department should provide the committee with the detailed report on the content that is contained in the capacity building program of NPOs. Honourable Speaker, after extensive deliberation, the Social Development Committee adopted the third quarterly performance report on the Department of Social Development for the financial year 2025-2026 in accordance with Rule 117, Section 2, subsection C, read together with Rule 164. The Social Development Portfolio Committee tables the report to the House for consideration and adoption and the consent made in the report. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chokwe. Honourable members, is there a seconder? Honourable Sisedinyane.
Thank you, Speaker, and I rise to second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favour say no. Okay, so the report is adopted. Secretary, can you read order number 11, please?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Health and Wellness Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Health, including its entity, for the 2025-2026 financial year.
Thank you. Honourable Letsoalo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. In brevity, just quickly touching on recommendations, because with health, it's a matter of life and death. 3 recommendations. The committee recommends that the department review and assess the effectiveness of existing mitigation strategies in relation to the uptake of long-acting reversible contraceptive methods and develop and submit a report on alternative interventions to the committee. Secondly, the committee also recommends that the department strengthen patient safety incident management systems, including improving reporting, classification, and case closure rates, as well as ensuring timely feedback to affected patients. The department is requested to submit a detailed improvement strategy to the committee. And then lastly, the department should implement targeted interventions to reduce missed patient appointments, including strengthening patient tracing mechanisms and expanding adherence programs such as the CCMDD initiative, and submit a detailed intervention strategy. And then in accordance with Rule 117, subsection 2, Proviso C, read together with Rule 164, the committee hereby recommends that the report be adopted by the House, taking into account committee concerns as well as recommendations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Letsoalo. Is there a second, honourable members? Honourable Msai.
I rise to second, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Secretary, can you please read the next order?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Infrastructure Development and Property Management Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Infrastructure Development and Property Management, including its entity for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Ndlovu.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Greetings, and may I request that part of the reports that I will not read be regarded as read by the House. I, Member Ndlovu, on behalf of the Infrastructure Development Portfolio Committee, hereby tables the Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly performance report of the Department of Infrastructure Development, including its entity for the 2025-26 financial year. On committee findings and concerns, the committee is concerned about the over-expenditure, and yet the targets were not fully met. The committee is deeply concerned with the poor workmanship observed in the projects such as Rastefal, George Milase, and Pitseng Primary School. The committee is concerned with the Becker-style project delay. On recommendations, we request typed response by the written response by the 1st of May. The committee should consider, the department should consider reviewing its budget spending to address the over-expenditure and apply stronger monitoring to align future spending with the outcomes. They should provide a report with timelines, immediate corrective actions, stricter quality on control measures, on adoption in terms of Rule 117, subsection 2C, read together with Rule 164, the Portfolio Committee on Infrastructure Development and Property Management presents before the House the oversight report on the Department of Infrastructure Development, third quarterly report for the 2025-26 financial year for consideration and adoption. Thank you, Speaker.
I raise a second, Honourable Speaker. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honourable Adams. Honourable members, I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. Okay, the report is then adopted. Secretary, can we have the next order, please?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Human Settlement Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Human Settlement, including its entity for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Muketi.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Sesedinyani will present on my behalf. Thank you.
Okay. Honourable Sesedinyani.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I, Honourable Sesedinyani, on behalf of Member Muketi, rise in terms of Rule 117, read together with Rule 164. The Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements presents the oversight report on the third quarter performance for the 2025-2026 financial year for adoption, taking into account the committee proposed concerns and recommendations. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Sesedinyani. Honourable members, is there a seconder? Honourable Musai.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second.
Thank you very much. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Honourable members, Secretary, can we have the next order, order number 14?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Honourable Kumalo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We would want to request the House that parts that I have not read of the reports be taken as being read. I will therefore concentrate on the proposed recommendations. One, that the department should provide a detailed progress report an update on investigation of fruitless and wasteful expenditure amounting to 904,100,000, including timelines for conclusion and any interim corrective measures implemented. The department should submit a comprehensive report outlining the corruption cases monitored in Merafong City, City of Tshwane, and Mfuleni, as well as the City of Accruals during the quarter of 2024 to 2026 financial year. The department should provide a detailed account of non-compliance issues that continue to undermine revenue collection in the supported communities. That the department should also provide the Portfolio Committee with a comprehensive report detailing the extent to which the Municipal Integrity Management Framework and the Code of Ethical Leadership have been operationalized within the Merafong City. That the department should provide the committee with a detailed account of its coordination role during the recent water crisis, including the actions taken to facilitate alignment between national, provincial, and municipal stakeholders. Furthermore, the department should outline concrete measures to enhance intergovernmental collaboration, strengthen early warning responses, and ensure the water-related disruptions are prevented or mitigated through improved planning, communication, and joint operations. In terms of the adoptions, in terms of Rule 117, subsection 2C, read together with 164, the Portfolio Committee on COGTA present the oversight report on the third quarterly performance report of the Department of COGTA 2025-26 financial year for adoption, taking into account the committee concern and proposed recommendation made in this report. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Khumalo. Is there a seconder? Honorable members, Honorable Diagar.
I'll move to adopt.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Secretary, can we have the order number 15, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Education Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Education for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mhlongo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Again, I request the House to read parts of the report that have not been read as read. I hereby table the third quarter report of the Department of Education. Madam Speaker, in accordance with Rule 117 2C, read together with Rule 164, the Portfolio Committee on Education hereby presents its Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report for the Department of Education for the 25-26 financial year. And we are therefore putting this to the House in terms of the taking into consideration the concerns as well as the proposed recommendation in the report. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mhlongo. Honorable members, a seconder. Honorable Sesedinyane.
I rise to second, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
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 Those that are not in favor say no. The report is then duly adopted. Secretary, order number 16, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee Oversight Report on the third quarterly report of the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, including its entity for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Tlabere.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, honorable members and the people of Gauteng. I will also request the House that the part that I will not be read be taken as read. After extensive deliberation, the Portfolio Committee of Sport, Arts, Culture and Recreation Committee adopted the third quarter oversight report on the Department of Sport, Arts, Culture and Recreation in accordance with Rule 117, subsection 2, subsection C, read together with Rule 164, the Sport, Arts, Culture and Recreation Portfolio Committee tabled the report to the House for consideration and adoption, considering the concerns and the proposed recommendations made in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tlabere. Is there a second, honorable members?
I rise to second, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Adams. I now put the question, honorable members. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the report is adopted. Honorable Melder, it's a typing error there. I saw you had a very worried look on your face. Secretary, can we have the next order, please?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Community Safety Portfolio Committee Oversight Report or the third quarterly report of the Department of Community Safety for the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Honourable Dr. Masuku.
Thank you, Speaker. I'll also request that parts of the report that have not been read out to be considered as read. I hereby stand to present an oversight assessment of the Gauteng Department of Community Safety third quarter performance of 25-26 financial year, highlighting key achievements, critical risk and priority action required. The overall performance, the targets out of 36 were achieved. In Program 2, 100%, Program 3, 100%, Program 1, there's a 36 persistent underperformance, and there's also severe overspending of 129% of the quarterly allocation spent. Overspending is concentrated in traffic management and administration. The following are the concerns that the committee have actually noted. It noted the following: that the impact of procurement restriction on women, youth, and persons with disability, the stabilization and reform plan for CPF and patrol program, working conditions, oversight, and sustainability, a clear functionality criteria and turnaround plan for all community safety forums, a revised road safety strategy focused on the pedestrian and high fatality corridors. These are the matters that we also require the department to submit a report by the 15th of May 2026. In accordance with Rule 117, subsection 2, subsection C, read together with Rule 164, the committee formally submits its oversight report on the department's 25-26 third quarter report for the House for adoption, with inclusive of all the concerns and recommendation. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Masuku. Is there a second, honourable members? Honourable Mobe.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to second.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favour say no. So the report is duly adopted. Secretary, can you please read order number 18?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Consideration of Oversight Committee on the Premier's Office and the Legislature's report on the final voting mandate on the Public Service Commission Bill B3030B of 2023, Section 76. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Mekwe.
Thank you so much. I rise to present a committee report on the final voting mandate on the Public Service Commission Bill. Madam Speaker, I think all the areas that are not read, consider them as read. I think on page 1, we are actually indicating the process that was followed in convening or in discussing the report, starting from the 24th of March 2025, when the bill was referred to the committee. On Friday, the 30th of May 2025, the permanent delegate for the NCOP also came to present the report, but also we invited or convened public meetings 21st of August, 23rd of March. We held a meeting to deliberate and adopt the report on the final voting mandate. And the purpose of the bill, according to its long title, the bill seeks to regulate the Public Service Commission in accordance with the provisions of Section 196 of the Constitution, to regulate the procedure of the appointment of commissioners of the PSC, to provide for the establishment of the Secretariat of the Commissions, to support the work of the Commission, to repeal the Public Service Commission Act, and to provide for matters connected with. Chapter 10 of the Constitution establishes and regulates the public administration and the public service. Section 196 of the Constitution makes provision for a single, independent and impartial PSC. It provides for the appointment, including the renewal of the appointment and removal of the commissioners. It further determines the commission, and the procedure to appoint commissioners must be regulated by national legislation. It also sets out the powers and functions of the commission, Furthermore, certain powers and functions may be prescribed by national legislation. Lastly, there have been several court decisions that have impacted the work and status of the Commission. I'm not going to read the financial implications as they are all indicated in that page 2. The procedure of the Committee on voting in favour of the negotiating mandate on the Public Service Commission Bill B30B of 2023 has contributed positively to the NCOP proceedings that led to the position taken by the NCOP Select Committee on Cooperative Governance and Public Administration, Traditional Affairs, Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation of voting in favour of the bill in its current form. The committee notes the 8 out of 9 South African provinces voted in favour of the bill. It is noted that the outcome of the deliberations during the consideration of responses to provincial negotiating mandates at the NCOP meeting reflected that most of the committee submissions were considered mainly as policy-related matters. The matter of committee concerns on the constitutionality and encroachment on autonomy of municipalities by PSC, a justification was made that the PSP bill applies in relation to the administration of public service and public administration. It is further noted that this assertion underscores the 2011 resolution passed by Parliament that the PSC must implement its full mandate in line with Section 195, sub 2 of the Constitution, and that public administration must be governed by the democratic values and principles as enshrined in the Constitution. In terms of Section 65 of the Constitution, read with Section 6 and 8 of the Mandating Procedure of Provinces Act 52 of 2008, as well as Rule 248 of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Standing Rule and Oversight Committee on the Premier's Office and the Legislature confers authority on the Gauteng Provincial Delegates to National Council of Provinces to vote in favour the Public Service Commission Bill, Bill 30B of 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mekwe. Honourable members, is there a seconder?
I rise to second, Madam Speaker. Member Usman.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those are not in favour say no. No. So the yeses have it. The report is adopted. Secretary, can you please read order number 19?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Infrastructure Development and Property Management Portfolio Committee Oversight Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the Reviewing Infrastructure Project of the Current Administration in Gauteng, a case study of STARS facilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Ndlovu.
Thank you again, Speaker. May I request that part of the reports that I will not read be regarded as read. I, Member Ndlovu, on behalf of the Infrastructure Development Portfolio Committee, tables the committee's forecast intervention study report on reviewing of infrastructure projects of the current administration in Gauteng, a case study of STARS facility. On concerns, the committee has expressed concerns regarding the termination of the Bantu Bonke contractors' engagement in 2025 at a stage when the project was nearly complete, standing at 99%. The committee also noted with concern the unresolved issues of budget confirmation by the Department of Sports for completion of the Women's Living Monument project. On recommendations, the department should ensure that reliable contractors like the one in Bantu Bonke are retained until project completion to avoid unnecessary delays. Termination decisions should be carefully evaluated to protect project timelines and outcomes. Both the Department of Sports and the DID should explore and report to the committee on additional funding avenues to complete the Women's Living Monument project. The department should expedite the implementation of Wedela project and submit a project report outlining the causes of delays, revised timelines and corrective measures to ensure timely completion. The department should conduct a comprehensive review of all projects that have not progressed beyond their initiation stages and submit a report. The department to strengthen its project management processes to ensure the timely completion of all ongoing projects and submit a report. outlining the delays in all projects and revised implementation plan. The department should implement measures to accelerate the completion of near-finished projects, with priority given to projects nearing completion such as Bantubonke ACT, Beckersdal, Wedella, and others. On adoption, in accordance with Rule 165, the Portfolio Committee on Infrastructure Development and Property Management hereby presents the Focused Intervention Study Report on reviewing infrastructure projects of the current administration in Gauteng for consideration and adoption by the House. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ndlovu. Honorable members, is there a seconder? Honorable Mogobe.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to second.
Thank you very much. I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor, say no. So the report is duly adopted. Secretary, can you please read the next order, order number 20?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Economic Development Portfolio Committee's Focus Intervention Study Report on the examining the challenges in hindering progress in Constitutional Hill Visitor Centre and undermining the perceived potential as a tourism attractor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Alberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I present this report on the project of Constitutional Hill, and those parts not mentioned in here is deemed to be have been read. Firstly, the problems that we've engaged and the solutions. The committee is concerned about the July 2026 initial date of completion set out by the department on the Constitutional Hill Visitor Centre project. This includes the revised date set for December 2026. The department should submit reasonable plans that will ensure that the revised date of December 2026 related to the completion of the Constitutional Hill Visitor Centre project is met. A detailed report on this should be submitted by the 4th of May 2026. Secondly, lack of recovery plans outlined by the department on the funds that were lost to contractors that were terminated due to liquidation. The department should therefore outline the recovery plans related to the funds that were lost, and this should be submitted to the committee by the 4th of May 2026. Thirdly, the lack of plans related to the upkeep and maintenance of the surroundings of the Constitutional Hill Precinct. The external area surrounding the Constitutional Hill Precinct should be cleaned, noting that currently the area remains dirty and could impact negatively on the intended attractions of the number of visitors coming to the site. And the report on this should be submitted by the 4th of May 2026. Fourthly, a lack of improvement in the marketing of the Constitutional Hill Precinct, including offerings to attract more visitors. The department should work in conjunction with the Gauteng Tourism Agency to improve the marketing strategy of Constitutional Hill, and a report in this regard must be submitted by the 4th of May 2026. Fifthly, inability to submit a detailed plan on how the main contractor Phoenician will ensure the utilisation of funds effectively and efficiently in implementation of the project. The department should submit a report outlining how the main contractor Phoenician will ensure that the funds allocated will be utilised effectively and efficiently in the implementation of the project, and this report must be submitted to us by the 4th of May 2026. 6. Lack of a detailed breakdown in the areas or phases where expenditure will increase on the project, and a report on this must be submitted by the 4th of May as well. Then the inability by the department to furnish the committee with the detailed financial history of the project. That must be furnished to the committee by the 4th of May as well. Second last, the inability to finalise the township establishment process. The department should take the lead in working together and mounting pressure on the Johannesburg Development Agency to finalise the approval of the township establishment, and the report must be submitted by the 4th of May. And lastly, the inability to detail the number of employment opportunities created in the current phase of the project, including the potential number of jobs that will be created in the other phases of the project, and a report on that must be submitted on the 4th of May 2026. And that's all of our recommendations, and I would like to thank the members of the committee and the staff for their contributions in this regard. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Alberts. Honourable members, is there a seconder?
I'd like to second. Thank you, Speaker.
I'd like to second, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much to both of you, honourable members. I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favour say no. So the yeses have it, the report is adopted. Secretary, can we go to the next order, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Community Safety Portfolio Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the assessing the level of compliance by Gauteng SAPS with the Domestic Violence Act. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Masuku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and the citizens of Gauteng. The Portfolio Committee on Community Safety conducted a focused intervention study to assess the level and quality of compliance by Gauteng SAPS with the Domestic Violence Act. The study responds to a persistently high levels of domestic violence and GBVF in the province and concerns about inconsistent police response at station level. The methodology involves that we did oversight visits in multiple SAPS stations across the corridors, inspection of domestic violence registers, occurrence books and protection orders, assessment of victim-friendly rooms, and we also had a stakeholder engagement which involved communities, NGOs, academics, and professionals. And we also received inputs from the SAPS, Department of Community Safety, and the Department of Social Development. The key findings, amongst others, on compliance status, no SAPS station in Gauteng is fully compliant with the DVA. Most stations show partial or significant compliance, but implementation is uneven and inconsistent. Compliance monitoring remains procedural with limited focus on victim experience and outcome. On administrative gaps, there is misalignment of records, failure to complete return of service, and practice discouraging victims from accompanying police when serving protection orders undermines effectiveness. On victim support deficit, it's an under-resourced, poorly maintained, and it's only dependent on volunteers. It's limited 24-hour access of social workers and psychosocial services, and somehow there's also lack of access for disability. The reports of victims being turned away at first contact is also one of the things that have been shared. There's also a shortage of staff, and there's insufficient training of updated Domestic Violence Protocols and DVA Amendments Act of 2021. There's weak focus on employee wellness, trauma support, and organizational culture. In terms of accountability, there's serious concern over domestic and sexual violence involving SAPS members, lack of weak vettings and disciplinary and follow-through in terms of consequence management. The key drivers has been identified as the firearms, the guns, and there's also the key driver is alcohol abuse. The socio-economic situation also exacerbates the risk of domestic violence. There's also a decline in funded shelters around the province. The following recommendations were made: that we should strengthen oversight, accountability, and internal compliance monitoring, properly resource and professionalize victim-friendly rooms, implement robust vetting and integrity testing and consequent management for SAPS members, expand training on the DVA Amendment Act and trauma-informed policing, stabilize funding for shelters and GBVF NGOs, enforce liquor regulations and integrate alcohol harm reductions in the GBVF strategies, ensure coordinated multi-sectoral response. Integrated report to the legislature should be provided by the 15th May 2026. In accordance with Rule 164, the chairperson hereby recommends that the report of the Community Safety Focused Intervention Study be adopted by the House, considering all the comments and recommendations that they've made. I stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Masuku. Honorable members, is there a seconder? Honorable Mhlakaza Manamela. Thank you very much. Honorable members, and I put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those that are not in favor say no. So the yeses have it, so the report is adopted. Secretary, can you please read order number 22?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation Portfolio Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the assessment of impact of club management programs on the sustainabilities of the clubs.
Thank you very much. Honorable Tlabere.
Thank you. Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Again, I will request that the report, the report that the part that I will not read be taken as read. I, Chairperson Disabled Tlabere, Chairperson of Honorable Tlabere, Chairperson of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, tables the Portfolio Committee report on the focus intervention study assessing the impact of the club development program on the sustainability of clubs. And on the committee recommendation, the committee recommends the department should evaluate the club development program funding model to ensure that the Gauteng Sport Confederation is finally capacitated to assist the district and local federations accordingly by 30th June 2026. Initiate a structure that will review and address the sport infrastructure challenges in the province by 30 June 2026. Invest more financial and human resources in tennis, basketball, and boxing sporting codes, particularly in the previously disadvantaged communities. Provide the committee with a plan by 30 June 2026. Fast-track the establishment of the Provincial Basket Federation and provide the committee with the status report by 30th June 2026. Address the access to Salt Sorted's indoor facility for the clubs in the region and provide feedback by 30th June 2026. Submit a revised club development funding framework with transparent allocation criteria by 30 June 2026. Implement a beneficiary verification audit of all supported clubs within the current and prior financial year by 30th June 2026, enforce minimum governance compliance standards before funding approval by 30th June 2026, introduce mandatory federation to club disbursement reporting and provide quarterly feedback, submit a quarterly club sustainability dashboard to the committee quarterly, submit a transport procurement cost comparison study report by 30th June 2026. The committee would like to acknowledge the MEC and all committee members and the support staff. And in accordance with Rule 117, subsection 2C, read together with Rule 164, the Portfolio Committee tables the report to the House for consideration and adoption, considering the concerns and the proposed recommendation made in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tlabere. Honorable members, is there a seconder? Honorable Ndlovu?
Thanks, Speaker. I rise to second.
Thank you. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes.
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 Those that are not in favor say no. So the yeses have it and the report is adopted. Secretary, order number 23.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Transport and Logistic Portfolio Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the proposed Gauteng and Limpopo high-speed rail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Nhloko, on behalf of Honourable Schneemann.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. We are hereby presenting the proposed Gauteng-Limpopo high-speed rail. Honourable Speaker, due to time limitations, allow me to read the recommendations of the committee. The committee recommends the following detailed response by the 30th of April 2026. The committee wants progress made in the development and approval of the Memorandum of Understanding that will, upon finalization and approval, comprehensively detail the institutional arrangements between GPG, LPG, as well as NDOT, including the project structure as well as the roles and responsibilities between national and provincial departments. The committee be provided with updates on a quarterly basis on design, planning, funding and construction of the Gauteng-Limpopo high-speed rail. Honourable Speaker, after due consideration, the Roads and Transport Portfolio Committee unanimously adopted the FIS report on the proposed Gauteng-Limpopo high-speed rail. In terms of Rule 165, the committee presents to this House and recommends the adoption of the committee's FIS report on the Gauteng-Limpopo high-speed rail, taking into account the comments as well as the recommendations made by the committee on this report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mhlongo. Honourable members, a seconder. Honourable Mogobe.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to second.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I now put the question. Those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the yeses have it and the report is adopted. Secretary, order number 24, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development Portfolio Committee's Focus Intervention Study Report on the status of the Tshwane Innovation Hub, the commercialization of the silver tree cannabis, and the status of the sunflower crushing plant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Mulder.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'm not going to repeat that difficult intro. I'll start with the report. The adopted focus intervention study topics are meant to provide the committee with an update on the status of 3 projects through interaction with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and stakeholders involved in the running of the projects. The committee noted with concern that the Silver Tree Cannabis project faces significant commercialization challenges, highlighted by a R20 million investment with no evidence of operational activity. Key difficulties include failed training initiatives, lack of infrastructure and regulatory bottlenecks. Previous committee engagements with the same project revealed a lack of production. The Tshwane Innovation Hub Agri-Park faces significant challenges, which include critical issues like poor management, lack of capacity, inconsistent support for the Agri-Park operators, and insufficient maintenance. The Innovation Hub has demonstrated the inability and unwillingness to maintain the park. The Innovation Hub is faced with the challenge that the know-how of the Agri-Park rests with the service provider that did the installation, and that the service providers that have been appointed to do the maintenance work have not managed to resolve the challenges. The committee then also notes with concern the sunflower crushing plant faces significant challenges, including volatile raw material supply, high operational costs, and stiff competition from large-scale processors. Key issues include projects running for years without completion and funds being returned to the Treasury. The committee is concerned that service providers appointed are not capable of rendering the required services. I wish to thank the committee researcher, all the support staff, honourable members and alternates for the committee for their dedication in compiling and adopting the report. Honourable Speaker, I move for the adoption of this report by the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mulder. Is there a second, honourable members?
I so second, Chair.
Thank you very much. I now put the question. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Okay, those that are not in favor say no. So the yeses have it and the report is adopted. Secretary, order number 25.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Finance Portfolio Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the root cause analysis of accruals and the impact thereof on a service delivery, a critical analysis of accruals emanating from medico-legal claims. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Thank you very much, Secretary. Honourable Musai.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would like the parts that have not been read to be regarded as being read. I, Honourable Andisa Musai, hereby table the committee's oversight FIS report titled A Root Cause Analysis of Accruals and the Impact Thereof on Service Delivery, a critical analysis of accruals emanating from medical legal claims. In terms of Rule 117, subsection C2, read together with Rule 165. The committee accordingly recommends that the House adopts the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Musai. A seconder, Honourable Sesedinyane.
Thank you, Speaker. Member Sesedinyane is against. Thank you very much.
I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor say no. So the yeses have it and the report is adopted. Secretary, order number 26.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Education Portfolio Committee Focus Intervention Study Report on the support provided to the public special school education in the Gauteng province. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Mhlongo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I am working for my money. On a lighter note. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Committee on Education FIS report on special schools has the following recommendations: that the department puts in place plans to build new state-of-the-art schools within corridors of the province per region, that the department addresses infrastructure challenges in public ordinary special schools. The committee recommends that the department should provide training for IDSOs that do not have knowledge or understand special education. This includes ISS units in the district offices. The committee further recommends that the department needs to provide progress reports regarding the number of children that are still on the waiting list and have not been placed, that the department should put in place its exit strategy and job placement for learners that are in these special schools. And Madam Speaker, in accordance with Rule 165, the Education Portfolio Committee hereby recommends that the report of the Gauteng Department of Education FIS report be adopted by the House, taking into consideration our committee concerns as well as proposed recommendations made in the report. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mhlongo. Can we get a seconder? Honorable Sesedinyane.
Once more, Member Sesedinyane, seconds. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much. I now put the question, honorable members. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Those that are not in favor, say no. So the yeses have it, and the report is adopted. Okay, honorable members, we are at the end of the business of the day. However, I have a small announcement to make, small but very significant. Premier, there are 3 young people in our presence here who are shadowing you, sort of. They have ambitions of being premiers in the future somewhere. And one of them, the first one, the name is Masombuka Sbusiso, the other one, the same name is Moloto, and there's a Motsepe. So be alert, be aware, I'll send them to your office to greet you. Yeah, they are studying you very, very seriously. Honorable members, that concludes the business of the day, and the date of the next meeting will be announced in due course.